Damn. All right.
Oh, man. Hey, just so you know, our last show we did, it was not hardwired. So remember we did the Trump event downstairs, or the election? So it wasn't hooked up. So I hooked it up this week myself. I did it, interviews and stuff, so hopefully it's plugged in right. Oh, wow. I wonder if this is just the wireless. Oh, my God.
Let's see. I'm connected.
No, it's connected. Remember we did the Trump event downstairs, or the election? So it wasn't hooked up. So I hooked it up
I got a
this
feedback.
week myself. I did it, interviews and stuff, so hopefully it's plugged in right.
All right, we're back. Well, this doesn't show us back up here.
We said we'd bring Matt on, so we might as well just jump into it when he gets on.
Gotta check my phone.
Yeah, I'm on here right now. It's not on, right?
No. All right. It's not working. Are you sure?
Oh, it says live.
Yeah.
Hey, God, can you hear us?
Sorry,
no, but we're
we
not
had
moving.
some technical
There we go. Are we moving now?
and technical difficulties. Yeah.
This
yeah,
delayed. Is it delayed?
It's always delayed. Okay, sorry, sorry, everybody. We had some technical difficulties. It looked like our streaming.
So 7:15. Let's bring in Matt.
One real quick, just
nothing is real quick.
The
with you.
last thing, the MAGA-esque social media post: thin blue line and pro gun. So if you support the police, MAGA adjacent candidate signs. So you can't even be MAGA adjacent. And one last thing. There was a business, a nonprofit
that's
named Big Hearts of Fox Valley. These people do work to deliver coats and Christmas gifts for underprivileged kids. So, off with their heads if they support MAGA. So,
we got two threads in there. So let's let Matt in.
Let's let Matt in, yeah. Are we still streaming?
Yeah, I just confirmed everything's back.
Okay. So, that's...
We got two streams on here.
Matt, can you hear us?
Hold on. Let's see. He's unmuted.
Matt, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, sure can.
No, thank you. Can we? Is he just on? Oh, there he is. We can see his face.
There we go.
Hey,
how you
what's
doing,
up,
Matt?
man?
Hey, guys.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Were you able to hear any of what we said, or no? We were having a little problem.
I heard all of it, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so we're looking like idiots thinking we weren't live and we were live.
No,
We did
good. I can hear you guys. I appreciate you having me on.
So interesting week for you.
Yeah.
Huh?
So real quickly before you explain the chain of events, tell us about your restaurant. Right?
Yeah.
A little bit about the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just a local family place in downtown Wheaton. We try and take the staples and put our spin on it. So we have our own farm. We grow our own stuff. We try and be as healthy as possible. That's hence, the signs Make America Healthy Again. We thought that was very fitting. So we try and be the healthy stop that tastes good in downtown Wheaton.
And you got your own farm, I saw on your right that you source a lot of your food from.
Yep. We do. We have our own farm. We stuff. We try and be as healthy as possible. We even, our burgers are grass fed. We don't grow our own. Obviously, we don't have our own cows, but we source our own meats from local farms that do their own stuff, just like us. So,
sounds like a pretty upstanding business. But you support Jesus and Donald Trump, so
yeah. Are you involved in like the community at all? I mean, I'm assuming I know the answer to that before I ask the question. But do you get involved in your local community and other things in the community?
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm on the Downtown Wheaton Association here in Wheaton. We're members of the chamber in both Wheaton and Aurora. We have a wedding venue, and so trying to be as active as possible for sure.
When this attack occurred on you, I thought you were one of the first ones that seemed to bubble up, before the other businesses. Is that a true statement? And how did you feel when you first heard about what was presented in this goofy target list by our friend?
The world is. I never thought that a politician would be able to be wrapped up as an admin or whatever she was and actively hating businesses in her own community. But it is what it is, and there's a reason why they're a private group. They obviously have something to hide, and they are hiding behind a password or whatever it is because they're trying to destroy businesses, and that's fine with me. I think that we'll overcome it. We're stronger than them. They're keyboard warriors, and that's why they're a private group, not a public group.
Yeah, the reporter Brenda from Shaw Local, when she called me yesterday for that story that came out, she said that list wasn't targeted to hurt your businesses. And I'm like, well, what was it for? To like drive more revenue, to bring more awareness? I mean, what was the purpose? She obviously was on their side, right? And,
yeah, she was. I talked to her. I did a little story with her, and I felt the same way. She was making excuses left and right, and that's fine. I think that she's obviously entitled to her opinion, but I think it's pretty obvious that they were making a boycott list to try and hurt the businesses on the list because they didn't agree with the politics, which very anti-American. It's not what we founded the country on. It's not the First Amendment right. We are allowed to speak freely and post whatever we want, say whatever we want, and that's just what we did. We put a little banner up with what we believe in.
Yeah, and so it actually started with a bunch of people on social media attacking you for that, right, Matt? What can you tell us a little bit about some of the messages you were getting?
Yeah, so we did the Make America Healthy Again signs with the little picture of our storefront. And then we also did a Jesus is my savior, Trump is my president sign. And we got, I think as of today, we'll probably have over 2,000 hateful death threats, horrible messages, and, wishing us the worst things that you could think of. I won't even mention them, but like they'll just call and say, I hope you die, hope you get cancer, hang up, like just stupid stuff. It's childish, it's keyboard warrior stuff. But the support had really come in after my wife kind of flipped the post around and showed all the hateful messages because people didn't really realize we were getting hate. We posted a little story about the sign and they didn't realize it because they don't see our messages, they don't see our voicemails, they don't see our emails. And so once she showed them what we were going through, people really showed up to support, which was great.
Yeah, so what Martha told me is that she said that this woman had nothing to do with any of this, right? Which I mean, she was supposed to be a reporter and she was supposed to be independent, right? And everything I said, she countered or she defended this lady, which I find kind of ironic for someone that's supposed to report a story representing both sides. I do think her story was not as bad as what I expected, honestly, Matt. I was expecting a lot worse, but she just, she said that this woman had death threats against her and her family and her children. And I said, how do you know that? And she said, well, I reached out to the police. I said, what did they tell you? Well, they didn't call me back. I go, well, then how do you know she had death threats? Yeah. Well, she told me she had death threats. If you notice and you read her story, Brenda, she didn't put death threats, right? She said hate messages. And I told Brenda, because I know Brenda's going to be watching this, right? They're watching what we're saying. I said, so Brenda, if I FOIA the Geneva Police Department, there's going to be a list of the death threats, right? Just like if you had a death threat that said they're going to come and kill you and stuff, like what she was saying to me, that would be, you would call the police and it'd be listed. She said she had to have police protection. I don't believe there was death threats. I hope there wasn't. And then she said to me, she goes, did you, when you put that Nazi, I was being sarcastic, right? It's like a hit list from the Nazis. Didn't you know that there was going to be death threats? I go, of course not. I still don't know that there was death threats.
There's no proof that there was. But, Matt, you had shared some of the messages on social media that you had gotten, right? So there was receipts on that side of the equation, but not on the other. So, I mean, I think it says more about the people that are sending you the messages than anything, about you. The idea that, what do you think about the idea that we live in a country that you can't express your political beliefs without people attacking you like that? I mean, do you think that we're on the path to recovery, or are there some people that, are irredeemable?
Yeah, it's tough because I feel like some of the people with what they were saying are a little bit too far gone. And one of the things I've learned is that side, the left, is they're very emotional. I kind of coined this phrase, they're offended by everything but ashamed of nothing. And they'll go to every length possible to just make you feel like they feel and project their anger on you. And that's okay. I feel bad because I feel like a lot of them have, deeper rooted issues. But I hope we're on the right path. I think that we will be. We have the right people in place, and I think you've seen the last couple of days what Trump has done. President Trump has put all the right people in place, and that's what he did as a businessman. He put the people in place to do the job that they're good at, and that's what he's doing in office, just like he did 8 years ago. So
yeah. So before, because we're almost done here. Well, could you please tell people where they could reach? So talk about the type of like American style or whatever, where they could reach you at to make reservations, your website and stuff like that, so they could connect with you.
Yeah, for sure. So we're right downtown Wheaton, 112 North Hale Street. We have Instagram. You can reach out. You can email us at info@movablefeastandco.com. You can give us a
You're breaking up a little bit there, Matt.
Yeah, it's breaking up.
But hey,
right.
listen, Matt, we appreciate the courage that that you displayed by expressing your First Amendment rights. We need more people like you out there. We need more businesses like Movable Feast who are trying to produce healthy food, and we wish you all the best. And if there's anything we can do for you,
well, we're
let
going to
us know.
see you Monday night. Thanks for opening up. We're going to have a meeting there, and
Yeah.
I guess since we're going to have a meeting in the meeting room, you're going to have your staff there. So Jennifer from our team said, I guess you're going to be open. Maybe we get you some extra business on Monday night above and beyond our team's business.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
We'll be there. I'll probably say hi. I'll stop in. Would love to meet you guys.
Yeah,
so
love to
thank
meet you in person.
Actually, Matt, I'm going to be at your location tomorrow, meeting somebody for lunch. Are you going to be around?
Yeah, I should be here. Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like I need a cot in the basement the last few days, but I'll be here.
All right, I'll ask for you.
All right, sounds good. Thank
See
you.
See you, buddy.
Thanks a lot.
Good luck, man.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
I'm meeting with Josh McBroom, our friendly Naperville village
good.
councilman. So,
Good.
going to talk to him about the future of maybe some brave Republicans in Illinois.
Yeah.
Okay, are we bringing on the next one right away?
Yeah, Vince from
Yeah.
Republic. So we're part of Republic now. Is Vince in holding? So Republic is a new organization that's bringing together other influencers. We're one of the
Colonel McGregor's, right?
Yeah, we're one of the baby influencers. But there's other big names that are coming in. And so Vince is going to talk about Republic. So we want all you folks that are watching Republic, watching us, to make sure you follow Republic. Vince is going to, share how to get connected with them and get connected with us about them. And another thing, Vince used to be from Chicago, and he's a half a dago like me. So I love the guy.
You escaped though, huh, Vince?
Hey,
Oh no,
see?
I'd love to still live in Chicago, but it's a little bit too crazy there for me. So
yeah. Where are you these
I'll
days?
let you get in. Pardon me?
Where are you these days?
I live in Lexington, North Carolina.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
So Vince, why don't you introduce yourself and do a commercial for Republic? Talk about Republic and how important it's going to be, especially now. Because we have only a couple years to. So Trump was just like, the war just began, right? The war to save America really just began. So we've got a gift from God, and we need all to come together. And I think that's part of why you guys have Republic, right? And why don't you explain that?
Okay. Well, my name is Vince Ivanovich. I work for Republic. Republic is a free speech social media website, also called a web app because it adapts to whatever device you're using it on. And we're stayed away from being an app because we don't want to get canceled by Google or Apple like Parler did a couple of years ago.
Right.
I'm an activist in North Carolina. I learned to get involved as a precinct chairman back in 2021 after the election was stolen in 2020. I finally got off my butt and got physically active instead of being just a keyboard warrior, and then moved up in the organization in the Republican Party in Davidson County where I live, and went on to be on the executive committee for the GOP Davidson County, and the finance chairman, and helped to set up the permanent headquarters, first permanent headquarters that they ever had. So I got a lot of things done working with those guys, and Davidson County is a red county. So it was very easy for me to make friends and relate to people there. But I realized that if I really wanted to help make some changes, positive changes in the country, I needed to find other ways to do it. And I came across Our Country, Our Choice as an organization headed by Colonel Douglas McGregor about a year ago. And
Wait, can you quickly, give a
Yes.
bio on McGregor so people know that might not know? Just a quick little elevator pitch.
Sure. Colonel Douglas McGregor is a world-renowned analyst and military expert. He's retired. He's retired as a colonel. He was working for, he was appointed by President Trump to work in the Department of Defense during his Trump's first administration. And after, as a part of his advocacy as a patriot, after the 2020 election, Doug became very active on communicating with Tucker Carlson and other hosts and interviewers, and giving his analysis of what was going on in the United States politically, and also politically in other countries around the world.
Ukraine
So he's
specifically.
very well known and very, very liked. I work with him and communicate with him almost every day. I respect him tremendously, and he's the CEO of Our Country, Our Choice. So Our Country, Our Choice was started a little over a year ago, and very quickly built up a membership of over 500,000 people. And they were looking for a way to engage all those members in a communications platform, started working on Republic for that, but then quickly realized that the potential for Republic is much bigger and greater, and expanded the goals for Republic. And we went live in the second week of September. Now, what Republic is a free speech social media website that's unlike anything else that exists right now. Our focus is on informing the public through local citizen journalists who report on what's going on in their local community.
Hey, that's us.
Yes.
There you go. We got it up right now.
Yes, that's wonderful. Thank you. And so we want, we know that there's an awful lot of citizen journalists out there, and I think that's how you guys got started. And there's people across the country that are ready, willing, and able to report on what's going on in their community and share that information. So local news has become almost decimated in the United States. There's most communities don't have a local newspaper anymore. And so we can replace that by facilitating a platform for citizen journalists to share their information. So that's one part of it, and it's focused on local, because local is where all of us, live. Local is where we have the opportunity to make an impact on how our country is run, by first engaging with our neighbors and our friends and other people in the local community that care about what's going on, to address issues in the community, fix those issues, and then move on and continue to make our communities better. This, we believe, is kind of like a training ground to help our citizens realize that the key to running our country and having our country be great again is to have our citizens acting as participants in our democracy, not just spectators. So as you're getting engaged on a local basis, it's kind of like training to learn how you can get involved. And also, you're going to be able to make positive changes all across the country now. One of the biggest things that we see happening is people getting involved in their local school boards. After COVID, people realized what was being taught to their children. They got involved, and in a lot of cases, they're changing people on school boards. Here in Davidson County, we just had a major turnover in our school board. We had what we thought was a pretty conservative school board until we had an issue with a student that got suspended for asking another student if they were a legal immigrant or illegal alien during a class discussion about immigration. And when the parents got involved and said, this isn't right, he was expressing, he was asking a question. The school board, instead of supporting the parents, started acting in a very weird way. So that happened 6 months ago. The school board just went through a major turnover. So those types of things help people realize that we don't have to put up with electing people and then having them tell us, what they're going to do. We elect them based on what they promised us, and then we have to hold them accountable to what they said they're going to do. And if they don't do what they said they're going to do, and they do anything that's contrary to what our best interests are, we need to get rid of them. And people, so this is kind of a training process, and it all happens at the local level. Almost every other social media platform is driven by the top down, the biggest influencers down to the smallest.
Right.
And our platform is really grassroots from the bottom up.
Yeah. No, that's good to know. I'm running for village council in Downers Grove here, and a lot of Terry and I's focus has been starting from the local, right? We try to cover everything that we can that's relevant to the local from a national perspective on down, but we focus so much on local, and we've been combating some of the rhinos in our Republican organizations locally and in the state of Illinois.
He follows us. He knows all that. That's why we're in here.
And this is a perfect platform for us to be able to get the message out. We haven't started using it a lot lately, but we will.
So yeah, there's two channels, right? Like us, working with you in the podcast. If you want to talk about, like, you have Ann Vandersteel, Chuck in there, right? Some other big influencers that are a little bit more prominent than us, and then you also have the ones that push out the articles and stuff that Jennifer and Lisa. That's I think his name's George. Is the person that they've been working with? Is that correct? There's a guy named George, I think, local to Chicago. Freedom. He was in the military, and the ladies, the girls that are working with us are working with him. And then could you explain a little bit about the podcast, and then how people, like, if they want to watch and be part of Republic, people like, say, in our western suburbs, can you explain to them how they could get stuff that's relevant to their neighborhood, right? And they go to your website, and so they could see things that are local as well as national if they want, but how you make it relevant local.
Yeah, thanks, Terry. So republic.us, you go there on your browser, and the first thing that the browser will ask will be a pop-up asking you for what state, county, and town you reside in. And once you provide that information, the website is configured to feed you all the information for what's going on in your local area first. So if there are subscribers that are posting articles or actions or events on Republic in your local area, that's what you're going to see first. And as Republic becomes, as it grows, and it grows in the number of viewers and the number of subscribers, then every time people go there, they're going to see new information that's relevant to what's going on around them. So if you keep scrolling, you'll start running out of information that was posted locally, and you'll start seeing posts that are in concentric circles outside of your area up to national.
So Vince, for instance, say, so some parents are like doing school board stuff. So like us at Behind Enemy Lines, we're tied into pushing out the stories, the podcast, right, and taking advantage of the platform. But say some parents that are trying to organize in Downers Grove, right, for their school board, is there a way for them to reach out for help through your platform to say, hey, we're trying to organize and pull people together? And if so, please explain how that would happen.
Absolutely. So there's three major elements of Republic. There's posting articles. So if you have an issue with the school board, as an example, you could write an article about your experience with the school board and describing what that was like and what you want to do about it. And then from there, you can create an action where let's say that you're calling out other concerned parents that are in the community. You're going to have a meet and greet at somebody's home, and at this time and place to accomplish these objectives. So you create an action or an event. I'm sorry, that would be an event, a meet and greet, and then an action would be to go to the next school board meeting, list the date, the time, place, and encourage people to go to the school board meeting. And also in that same post, provide all the information that parents need to be able to come to that meeting and be prepared for what's going to be discussed and how they should, and the information that they can share to address the school board and what the parents' concerns are. So those three elements, the article, an event, and an action, all tie in together to allow you in your local community to identify a problem, identify a potential solution, and get people activated to address it.
So that's great because unfortunately Republicans don't get involved like the Democrats. So this will make it a little bit easier for them. So for instance, we're having these issues with the woman from Geneva that was going after and I think I shared the story with you, how they're going after the businesses, religious businesses, Republican businesses, MAGA businesses.
An elected official in that town is blacklisting businesses that are her own constituents. Right. It's amazing.
So we're going to test out your platform. We're going to call for a peaceful protest at the next Geneva City Council meeting, and to support the businesses, support all the people from the community that support the businesses. So we could go onto your site, right, Jennifer, Lisa? I know you guys are probably listening, and we could create an event, right, that will be pushed out to people. We're trying to build up part of why we're on this platform is to build up awareness for this area and this community, and hopefully get people to come and support these businesses that have been targeted by the left.
That is exactly what the platform was created for.
So,
exactly. And by the way, when we talk about Republicans or Democrats, I think it's important to note I'm a conservative, and I'm on the NCGOP executive committee. So I'm a Republican, and I believe in that. But the platform is not made to be partisan. It's made to be a place where people in the community can address common problems and issues and work together to resolve them. There's really no such thing at the local level of the kind of conflicts that the national news media tries to portray. Right. They try to portray, these people against these people, and don't let those folks, hold you back and this and that. That kind of thing doesn't exist. If you walk out of your house and make a left turn or a right turn, walk down, you say hi to this neighbor, hi to that neighbor. You don't know what political party they belong to. You know that they're your neighbor. You've got kids in the same school. You go to the soccer games and stuff like that. We can resolve. The same way we get along.
Vince, I don't know if I agree with that. We had an event at my house, and I have neighbors calling my guests Nazis, and we don't want you in the neighborhood. So I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, not all neighbors, but the majority. So, we're aiming at the 70% of the people that are in the middle, are common sense, patriotic Americans that want to raise their families and have the United States be the great country that it once was and can be again.
So it sounds like more of like a social media platform where you can crowdsource news and you can community organize. I also saw a section on there that had a tab for your representatives.
That's right.
So can you tell us a little bit about that? Is that somewhere where you can contact them or just find out who they are, or what kind of information is available to you there? And what are you guys trying to accomplish by having, some information like that on the platform?
We want to make it much, much easier for citizens to hold their elected representatives accountable and to get them engaged in helping them resolve issues in their community. If we can't wait for elected representatives to solve our problems. We elect them, and then we have a responsibility to let them know when we're unhappy about a certain situation in our community, and then see how they respond and react to that. So we want to make it easy for people to find out who are their elected representatives, going from city council all the way up to the president of the United States and everybody in between.
That's awesome. Look at that.
And And so when
We're showing that as you're
writers are
talking.
writing articles, they can tag a representative in that article, and that
that's
article will
awesome.
show up if you click on any of those representatives' shadow images, it'll pull up a page for them, and you'll see what party they belong to,
Oh,
what
that's cool.
office they hold, and a phone number for them. And if we've got their email address, we'll include that also.
And then I see their Facebook, right? And
Yes,
their
yeah,
social
you can see
media.
their feed, you can see what their positions are, what they're talking about.
Wow.
And smart politicians or representatives will get subscriptions to Republic, so they can keep an eye on what people are talking about and what they're tagging them on.
Right.
Another thing that I wanted to mention is you said you're going to be running for office. You can run on Republic for a very low cost. We've got two ways for people to interact with Republic. Everything is free for people to view. So everything that we're looking at right now, that's available for anybody. In order to post, however, you have to have a subscription. Subscriptions are $180 a year. You guys have a discount code so that you can offer a discounted rate to the people that follow you, and then they can post articles, events, actions, etc. But also, you can run your campaign on Republic. You can be posting on a regular basis what your positions are. You can create actions if you want people to address a particular issue or tell you what they're thinking, what they want you to be talking about when you get into office.
Mm-hmm.
You can create events where you have people coming together.
Right.
So all that.
So
one of the things that Republic is going to be is a low cost way of allowing grassroots candidates to be able to campaign at a very, very low cost.
So as you're growing the platform, right? So it just launched in September. So I'm being the sales guy that I am in technology, even though I can't barely use a computer. So Paul's run a campaign, right? So are you saying it's 180, like outside of us, what we're doing here? Are you saying somebody like Paul would have to pay 180 or maybe get a discount through us? And so my question back to you is, as this platform is brand new, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything you're doing? Because I'm assuming there's not much reach because it's brand new, right? So you're trying to get different geographical folks like ourselves and get that reach and grow some scale. Is there some discounts or is there things you're doing because you spend $180 and he reaches out to like us or like do you let them know, okay, there's 100 people in your geographical relevant area and it's worth your money as we build up this platform?
Mm-hmm. The way that most social media platforms evolved, you have to go back 15 years, 20 years ago to when Twitter and Facebook first became available. They grew through word of mouth. People liked what you could do there. They told their friends and said, hey, I need you to get on here because then we can share pictures and so on and so forth. And they grew tremendously. And then after a certain point, then they started advertising in certain places. So that we're kind of following that same path. We're starting off by asking people like yourself to let us to tell your followers about Republic, and then those people tell they check it out. Hopefully, they like it, and they tell their friends and neighbors, and it spreads that way.
Mm-hmm.
As far as future marketing efforts, those are things that we're discussing internally, but I don't have anything else I can tell you right now.
Yeah. So say, for instance, a school board parent that's running for office, locally here that, I'm going to run for office. I'm trying to get people to run. Does that person have to pay to post, hey, help us meet up at the school board meeting or something? They got to pay $180 to make a post at this point in time, or how does that work?
Yeah. For $180, they can make multiple posts a day for a year. It's an annual subscription. So for $180, they can get, especially again when we build out the audience for the platform, you'll be able to communicate and run more effectively than spending thousands of dollars on yard signs. And most importantly, right now, one of the problems that we have in our country is we've got two corporations that run our politics: the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee. And good, decent, honest people, if they want to run for office, they have to jump through the hoops that those people put up.
Mm-hmm.
if you have the ability to run for office on Republic and get your message out to the people in your community that are going to elect you, and they're going to hold you accountable, and then sing your praises if and when you do a good job, so you can move up from city council to county government to state government, et cetera. Then you don't have to jump through those hoops. And the Democrat, the DNC and RNC will come to you and try to get you to work with them, versus you having to do everything for them before they'll give you a chance to run.
So the most important thing that we can do is try to get people to go to your website now, to build scale, to make that
Yes.
investment worth other people's time that are starting from scratch, to invest that money to try to create awareness. Until we like build scale in the local community, it's we have to make it relevant. So that's part of why we're on the show, and we have you on the show.
Yes, and thank you very much.
How's your growth so far?
It's going well. It's only been a few weeks, and we've got a tremendous amount of engagement that we can see. I don't get to look at the daily numbers. I work out of my home office in Lexington, North Carolina, and the head office is in Orlando. But we're focused on getting the word out more than looking at the numbers. Sometimes when you're first getting started, if you look at the numbers every day, you get discouraged because you don't see as much growth as you think you should. So I'm focused on getting the word out more than I am on the numbers right now.
Well, hopefully November 5th will help with that. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Like I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fortunately for all of us and for
Right.
for our families and children and grandchildren, things went well on November 5th.
Certainly.
But if we want to make real change, we've got to build out this platform and be ready for the midterm elections.
Yeah.
Because the big change in our politics is going to come before in the primary elections.
Mm-hmm.
We need 100% turnout. Now, I know that's unrealistic probably, but as close to that as we can in the primaries. So we can get good people in those positions to be running, in November 2026. But it'll only happen if we can get the bums out that are currently in there that keep getting reelected based on name recognition and the fact that only 15 to 20% of people participate and vote in the primaries.
Yeah. I guess I have a question on, understanding the business model, right? And having, both sides, you got the left and the right? So the platform, as you said, is for both sides, right? And, coming from the Democratic side, my whole family and my parents and so forth, so I understand the business model to make it sustainable, right? To bring enough money to grow the platform and stuff. And I guess this is my bias now that I'm on our side or this side or whatever side you want to call this side, is that the left and those people that are Democrats right now, there's two types of Democrats in my view. There's the Democrats that are purposefully trying to destroy America. There's the other ones that are my mom and dad's friends that are just, ex-Democrats, right? They don't know any better. They're ill-informed, they're uneducated, or whatever reason. But the outcomes of both of those people, the ones that purposely are trying to hurt the country, the ones that are just ill-informed, the results and the outcome are going to hurt our children in America and our country. Yeah. So how do you rationalize? I understand the business model, right? I understand why you want to try to bring that 70% together, right, to maybe resolve some of this noise. I don't know. I hope you're right? But how do you balance that between trying to do what I think's right? I'm a Republican now because I think they're the lesser of two evils. I don't think they're the best. I don't think they're the best that America has, but they're definitely better than what we have. So how do you rationalize the business model with respect to us trying to fight to save the country with those that are really hurting our country? I don't mean to put you on a spot. You know what I mean? So I get the business model, right? But at the same time, it's like, how do you use the tool, the platform to maybe bring us together while not giving away the secret sauce to making them more more efficient to fight against us while we're trying to save the country?
Yeah, that's a great question. But to me, fundamentally, the majority of people in the United States, if they're well informed, they won't necessarily only identify as Democrat or Republican. There's an awful lot of Republicans that are very unhappy with the Republican Party. I don't know that many Democrats, but I imagine, and if you look at the results of the last election, the number of union members that supported Trump and voted for Trump, regarding this, in opposition to the union leadership. There's so many examples of people crossing over, not necessarily because they wanted to become Republicans, because they wanted to vote for the best man for the job, and the person who is most clearly committed and sincerely committed to make our country great again. I think that is how most people are in the United States. We've got a corrupt media and corrupt politicians that work hard to create divisions between us, because the more divided that we are, the less likely we are to hold them accountable. So the Republic platform is a training ground, again, focused on local, where you can work with your local community, get to know your neighbors, address problems that you both are concerned about, whether you're whether you're liberal or you're conservative. And once you address those problems together, and not all the solutions are going to happen immediately. If one citizen journalist says, here's a problem, I see this company is dumping chemicals into the river, and this needs to be stopped. On somebody from the other side of the political persuasion may say, well, we need to pass a law against that. And then the other person said, well, we already have laws. We don't need more laws. We need to hold these people accountable to the laws that we already have. And they're educating each other during this intercourse. They come together, they go to the county sheriff or they go to the city council, and they say, hey, we've got this issue. We've agreed that we need to present this problem to you, and you guys need to fix it. There's already laws on the books that you guys need to enforce, and you solve a problem. So you've got people on both sides coming together to solve problems. They're not going to do it every time, but they'll do it oftentimes. So I truly believe the divisions that exist in our country exist because they're intentionally put on us by the people that control the media and that control the big politics.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The sooner that we have platforms like Republic, and hopefully there'll be others, that compete with us, that want to do the same thing, the more that people realize that we have way more in common among each other than we do with these political party labels, then the more that we'll be able to get accomplished. And another thing is really interesting. I'm 64 years old. I grew up in Chicago in the 60s and 70s. Chicago was pretty crazy 60s and 70s with politics and the 68 Democrat convention and all the protests and everything. And I remember, thinking that people that are protesting the war must not be patriotic. That's kind of the household that I grew up in. But now, I and a lot of other people that I know are patriotic and conservative are very much against wars, because we realize that we've gotten into wars for the wrong reasons, and the people that are getting us into wars need to be held accountable. Nobody's holding them accountable.
Yeah.
Here I am. I'm a conservative man, part of the Republican Party, and I'm anti-war. So there's lots of things.
Well, the Republican Party is kind of inverted from what it was, right? We're the working class populist anti-war party now, which is what the Democrats used to be.
He was in Iraq during the war.
Yeah, I'm a vet of the Iraq war. Well, listen, Vince, maybe I'm now a writer for the Gateway Pundit, so maybe we can connect, or Colonel McGregor and I can connect, and we can do a story on this and try to boost you a little bit in the media as well. It's definitely a great cause. So we'll connect offline and see if we can't make something happen.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming on.
We want to help you guys build your audience, because you've got great things to say, and you're reporting on things that are going on in your community. I don't know, Terry, if you talked about some of the things you told me that you were up to in the last couple of weeks on your show, but those are super important, and more people need to hear about your experiences. And we want to see that you guys get a bigger audience and get more support for everything that
sure.
you're doing as well.
Thank you, Vince. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Look forward to meeting you soon.
Yeah.
Sometime.
Well, if I come to Chicago, will you take me to get some Italian beef?
Yeah.
Hey, we'll take you to Movable Feast that they tried to cancel.
Yeah, we'll go somewhere.
Yeah.
You can't get good food like that here in Lexington, North Carolina. We get barbecue, but barbecue is kind of boring.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll go to
So you can
Capri
get
and
Chicago.
Burridge.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey,
Thank you.
thanks for joining us,
Thanks,
Vince.
Vince.
Thanks, man.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
All right, so we're at. Oh my God, it's
We're at time.
7:59. We're trying to control ourselves to 1
we've
hour.
We've got a notification from DuPage Freedom Federation for an event coming up, right? Jason, you want to pop that up there? That's good stuff on Republic. I mean, we're gonna have to get on there more. I can use that for my campaign, and I'm gonna be weaponizing social media because it seems to be working for us right there.
Yeah.
There we go.
Ah, there we go. So next Monday, our organization is going to DuPage Freedom Federation and our little partners in crime. We're having a meeting in the back room, but they're going to be open. They're not normally open. So we want to thank Matt for opening up that night. So any of you guys that are in the neighborhood or around, you want to come.
Okay.
What's wrong, Jason?
It's Pip.
Explained wrong. and
Yeah.
I had a issue.
There we go. There we go.
Okay, there.
Now you
So
can see
anyway,
it.
anybody that's in the hood that wants to come, they're going to be open Monday night. It'd be great to meet you guys in person. I'm trying to find a way to convince Greg Bolts to come in here. He'll probably spend $1,000 on beef, but
Who?
Greg Bolts.
Never heard of the guy.
Yeah. So
Is
anyway,
is he involved in politics?
I think he thinks he is.
I think he might be.
He'll be done
I think
soon.
he might be going extinct soon.
Yeah, he is. He's like,
like
a
the dodo bird.
dino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Word on the street is the organization who's imploding quicker than the Democrat Party is not letting them in the doors anymore.
Another one bites the dust.
And
Another one down.
gone.
Another one down.
gone.
Another one bites the dust.
I mean,
Boom, boom. That's
maybe
Greg
we
walking.
should just put it out there that like suddenly we're hearing murmurs that the local party wants to talk to us
Yeah,
again.
they don't even want to talk to you, Greg. So I'm hearing there's some infighting, right?
Yeah, but honestly, who cares?
But we shouldn't even be talking about this, right?
Yeah, it's not. It's just sad. I think it's sad.
Look at Jason Lance. Look at
It's
this.
just sad. It's these people who just want to hang on to Fox News republicanism and
Bolts, Novak, Mendick. You fucked with the wrong Italian.
the old way is done,
Yeah,
fellas.
yeah. I will never forgive and I will never forget. Never.
Sail away, sail away, sail
So
away.
thank you guys.
Bye bye.